Hey guys, NLL Man here for another deck profile, and we are finally looking at the deck or basically one of our favorite decks on this channel. We are once again looking at Machinedramon, or in this case, his upgraded form, Chaosdramon-X. We got Chaosdramon in the last few sets, which helped the deck immensely, boosting it actually pretty well, especially with the recent regionals that were mono-colored. This deck actually managed to see some play because of that, because this deck is mostly black and uses black eggs. So this deck was very popular and was basically one of the decks that people were saying would be a good choice for that regional. But now with BT12 and the new starter deck coming out, we get new support. Not from the starter deck that Beals had, but specifically BT12, where we got the new Chaosdramon-X, and we also got the new option card, which is the Super Eradication attack. That he uses basically, and it's really strong. It helps basically get rid of security and set up your guy. But the deck so far hasn't really changed much, but there are a few things I did change, specifically the level 4 lineup and the level 5. I kind of stripped out some of them to make room for stuff, especially with the fact that we have to fit 2 Machinedramons and 1 Chaosdramon and 1 Chaosdramon-X, basically, like 2 of those new, basically 2 of the Chaosdramons, basically. So we're basically running at least 6 to 7 level 6s, so we had to make room for them. But yeah, anyway, let's get into the deck profile so I can show you what I mean. So, of course, this being a black deck, the best egg at the moment for it is still Pagu. Pagu is still solid no matter what. It's the fact that when it dies, which potentially it could, you will get a search, which could help you get into that level 5 you needed for the next evolution or next stack that you're building up here. And yeah, all around still very solid, and always great that I still have the alt art, so really nice. Then let's get into the level 3s. We only run 10 level 3s. We run 4 of the Dorumon, which is a new addition that I've been trying. It's actually pretty solid. With how much your deck likes to equip stuff underneath, especially through evolution, especially through Chaosdramon-X, this actually becomes pretty live. So sometimes when you do a 3-cost evolution, you can actually reduce the cost to 2 thanks to him. So it's actually pretty solid. His on-play effect doesn't really matter for this deck. It's mainly his inherent that's important, but he's still a very solid option for the deck at the moment. So really cool. Then we, of course, this being a Machine Cyborg deck, we run 4 Hagurumon because we like to discard and draw 2, which is still very solid, and passing your opponent to 1 or 2 is still very powerful. Then we run 2 Chikurimons. That way players can't reduce play costs, which specifically stops save decks, especially Cross Hunters at the moment, which is still around alongside Crossheart. So this is still a very crucial card to at least run 2 of, which is why I opted to run 2 of this at least. And yeah, that's basically all the rookies we run. It may seem a little bit low, but you do see these often enough that you won't really have that big of an issue. And most of the time, you can just hard play, or you will be getting memory. So you can play like your Guardramon and put him to 1 sometimes, so it's very nice. Speaking of which, we do run the 3 Guardramon. Guardramon is still very solid. He's a blocker. He can't attack, but his inherit is still very powerful and very busted, so we still run at least 3 copies of him. Then we run 2 Mechanori because Mechanori is still a very solid choice to hard play, and it does stop Cross Hunter a bit because this can unsuspend every time it blocks, so it can stop basically all of the rookies from basically getting through it all. They do have more removal now, but they have to go into very specific things just to get past this, which is really annoying for them and good for you. So run at least 2 of these. This guy is still very, like, he's still one of my all-time favorite black level 4s because he's just so good and so easy to put down. Then for the last level 4, we run the Numamon from BT2. I have both arts at the moment, but it's mainly because he's a 3-cost level 4, and he's 1 cost on evolution on a rookie, so really solid to help you skip into a level 5 as fast as possible, which is what you want to do. But yeah, that's basically all the level 4s we run. We only run 7, but you do see them often enough because you do draw a lot and you do gain a lot of memory, so you should consistently at least see these most of the time. Okay, so then for the basic, like, the majority of the deck, let's get into the level 5s. First, we run 1 Metal Mamemon. This is my store championship one that I won with Jessmon, so really cool. This one, of course, when Digivolve, just like the Andromon and the Metal Tyrannomon from the same set, they reveal the top three cards, and you can add one level 6 with Machine, and then you trash the rest. And his Inherit basically lets you pop anything with a play cost of 5 or less when attacking, so very solid to still run one. Then we have the Andromon, which basically does the same thing for when Digivolving, but instead on your opponent's turn, it gains Blocker, as long as it's a Machine type. Then we have one Metal Tyrannomon, which also does the same thing, but it gives Reboot on your opponent's turn if it's a Machine type. Then we run one Gigadramon from BT11. This is pretty cool because it has jamming, so you can get in an early swing, but it also grants Reboot without the requirements like Metal Tyranno, so you want to at least run one. That way you have two different numbered level 5s. Then we run one Megadramon because it's still very solid to just give Blocker for free. And then the last black level 5 we run is the Cyberdramon from EX3. This one's really cool. All turns when you have a suspended tamer, which in this case will be Analog Man, you gain an extra plus 2,000, so you can boost your level 6 up to like 15 or 16, so they can't really get past that easily. And yeah, that's basically all the black level 5s we run. For red level 5s, we run one Metal Greymon from BT1 because it grants your Machinedramon plus 3,000. You never really evolve on top of this. It's just there for discard, so don't ever brick into this. It's really bad. We also run one Metal Greymon from EX1 because when attacking, you can delete something 4,000 or less. It can evolve on red and black, and of course it gives piercing, so pretty good. Then one Megadramon, because of course it's red-black evolution. Delete up to 2 of your opponents when you hard play it, so sometimes you do have to hard play it. Anyway, so this deletes up to 2 Digimon with 3,000 DP or less, but it's only on play, so sometimes you do have to hard play this, which really sucks. But his Inherit is really cool. As long as it's a machine in its traits, it gains security +1, so your Machinedramon will be checking an extra 1, so really cool. And of course, it's a different number, so it'll contribute towards the different types of level 5s. Then we have the other Megadramon from BT6, which is treated as black. And on your turn, your Digimon gains plus 2,000, so your Machinedramon is gaining that plus 2,000 alongside maybe this Metal Greymon, so you're getting plus 5,000, pushing yourself up to 16,000, which is really solid. That's all for like the monocolor level 5s. Then we have, for dual colors, we have 2 of the Metal Greymons from BT8. This one is still really powerful, very solid, still one of the best level 5 cyborgs that Machinedramon has access to, because not only does it de-digivolve, but it also deletes something 3,000 or less. So if you can de-digivolve them down to level 3, you can pop it with this. And of course, this also allows you to attack unsuspended, so very strong. Then we run one of the new Metal Tyrannomon from BT11 because specifically this one lets you basically trash a security whenever you delete a Digimon or one of your opponent's Digimon in battle on either turn. So really cool. If you block it and it dies, you get to trash one of their security. Then we run one Megadramon because when attacking, you can delete a tamer, which is really good against Beals right now because they only run one tamer, and that's Iron Mako. And if you swing, you're going to delete it no matter what. So really cool. Then the last level 5 we run in the deck actually is one Volcanomon. He's not really that fantastic. Sometimes like the fact that he's a 4-cost evolution really sucks, but he is a blocker and he's a 9,000 blocker. Plus he grants security +1, so really solid. Plus he's both red and black, so he counts for both colors, which is really nice. That's all for the level 5s we run. Hold on, let me make room. So for level 6s, of course, we of course run 3 of the EX Machinedramon. This guy's still really cool, really crazy how expensive this alt art is, but you know what? It's worth it because he is one of my all-time favorite Digimon. He's still very solid to hard play, and when you equip all this stuff onto him, he becomes like a massive beast, and he just destroys your opponent really hard, especially now with the extra, the new jamming stuff and the boost. This guy can become very strong, and he's so much better than he was before. You have to run at least 3. I did try running 2, and you will never see it at 2 because you have so many level 5s. So I highly recommend just running 3. It's a solid number that makes it so you at least see this consistently, and you don't always have to evolve. So you have the evolution line, and you have the hard play line, which is what you want. Then we run 2 of the Machinedramons from BT11 because this one helps you search for Analog Man and for more cyborgs. And of course, it lets you play a Machinedramon or a, yeah, basically it lets you play Machinedramon for free if you basically on deletion you place the Analog Man on the bottom of your deck. So really cool. And it kind of locks out Crossheart from bottom decking you, so really solid. Then we run 2 Chaosdramons because we can evolve it on top of either of these Machinedramons, and we can de-digivolve up to 3, which is really strong. And of course, he does have the effects that prevent him from being deleted. Basically, all turns when this would be deleted or returned to hand, it can basically negate it by detaching 2. Machinedramon is, for those that don't know, it can't be DP reduced and it can't be deleted as long as it can detach 2 parts. So with this, it's the reverse of being deleted and returned to hand. So you have protection from both. But the new Chaosdramon-X, which you have to at least run 2 of, can gain the abilities of both. Basically, at the start of your main phase, you can equip a level 6 from trash, so you can gain the ability of either Machinedramon or of Chaosdramon, which will allow you to basically have immunity to basically being returned from hand, from deletion, and DP reduction. The only thing that can stop you at this point would be Chaos Degrade, but that's like the only thing. But most of the time, you're not going to see that as much unless you're playing security control or your locals has a lot of security control. But aside from that, you'll barely see it. And then along with that, all turns, it just, as I mentioned, it gains all the effects of any Machinedramon or Chaosdramon in this guy's sources. And then all turns when this would be deleted, you just trash the top card of your opponent's security. And if you just keep stopping it from being deleted, you basically get to trash a card like every turn. So it's very consistent and very fast. The rest of the decks it is just mainly options and the tamer. So we run the 3 Attack of the Heavy Mobile Digimon. This is basically to set up this Machinedramon, and of course it helps you delete stuff when they check this in security. You can just discard any cyborg or machine that is their the cost of their guy or higher, and you just delete it. So really strong. You have to at least run 3. Then we're running 2 of the new Super Eradication attack. This one's really cool. Basically, if you have a level 6 machine in play, you can just ignore the colors. But the cool thing is that you basically choose him to delete him, and then he prevents his own deletion, and then you get to delete something while also basically getting a free trash, which is really strong. Um, and then the last card of the deck, of course, is 4 Analog Mans. Me basically in a card form, very strong card, really busted, especially because if you have multiple on board, you can stack them and you basically get to gain memory. You get to draw a card for each one at the start of your main phase by discarding, which is basically what you want to do with this deck. But aside from that, so far in testing this deck, it still has consistency issues because of how it runs, how many level 5s it runs, and how many level 6s it runs. But I feel like this is probably the most consistent build I can get it to, because just how the deck runs, you will run into bricking occasionally, but luckily you can get out of the bricks now compared to before, where if you bricked, you were just dead in the water. You were completely dead in the water no matter what. But now with the new support, you should be able to basically get past a lot of the bricks, thankfully. Aside from that, the deck still feels the same, unless you're running the red build with the Guilmons that swing and all you're doing is just hard playing stuff. The main build that people I've seen basically using is this one specifically, where you're just evolving up into this Machinedramon or into this Chaosdramon to basically do some damage, and then finish it off with this Machinedramon basically. And then with the new Chaosdramon-X, you're basically gaining all of these effects together in one guy instead of just separating them now. Aside from that, there's not really much change aside from these two, because Machinedramon remains basically same and consistent no matter what, because of just how the deck functions and how it was originally conceived. So it's just going to basically stay like this unless it gets new support that changes its gameplay. But aside from that, it's basically Machinedramon. I wanted to put out this deck profile because I know some of you were wondering if I was going to update this deck, and I did. It just took a little bit more time because of the fact that I wanted this deck to be consistent, get out of bricks easier, and of course be able to do enough damage. And with how I have this set up, you should be able to do enough damage to at least swing for game usually. The only bad matchup I honestly feel would be Cross Hunters, because they can bottom deck your level 6 underneath Analog Man, but as long as you kind of play conservatively against them with just this one, like maybe just put one Tamer and one Machinedramon out, you should be fine. Because no matter what, you should be able to not really outspeed them, but you should be able to block almost all of their attacks, especially with Mechanori in this build and with Gardramon. So you should be fine no matter what. Aside from that, deck feels really solid so far. I really wish we got more support in BT12, but you know that's how it is being a Machinedramon player. We get random support. We get very random support, and when we do, it's not really as impactful. But when we do, it's very powerful. And with these two now, we should be able to do some more damage in the meta finally. Anyway, thank you for watching. As usual, I say this is a template for you to work with and to build your own version so that way it works towards your gameplay style and, as usual. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.